I'm doing well. How about you, Jeff?
Good. Who am I speaking with?
This is Dominic.
Hey, Dominic. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually calling because I'm taking FAR tomorrow, actually, and I'm doing kind of like a last-minute review. This is my second time taking the exam, and this is also my last one to finish with the whole CPA exam. So I just really want to know just any last-minute tidbits, that you could provide me to help me get a passing score tomorrow.
Yeah, what would you say that your weakest 3 topics are?
My weakest 3 topics. I would say stockholders equity. I would say deferred taxes. And also current assets, current liabilities.
Okay, so what you should do is, since you've identified those 3 as your weakest topics, you should do like mini testlets over, say, stockholders equity, and work them in study mode, so that you get the answers right away, and work those until you're getting about 70%, and then move on to the next one, like deferred taxes. And so stockholders equity, you might do a set of 20 and score like a 50. And the next set, your score is 60. And the next set, you score a 70. Move on to deferred taxes, then to current assets. Basically, start with your weakest topics and move backwards.
Okay.
That's what I would do. What time is your exam?
I'm taking it at 4:30 tomorrow, 4:30 p.m.
Okay, so, and you have the whole day off?
Yeah, I do. I took the day off.
Okay. Some people don't recommend studying the day of your exam. I highly recommend studying the day of your exam, because like you might study one little thing or hit one multiple choice question during the day that ends up being the difference between a 74 and a 75. So I'm a huge proponent of that. So
that's true. But yeah, I think that's it. Like you said, just do those 3 modules, put it in study mode, and just keep doing it until I get at least 70%.
Yeah. So do those 3, and then go back from the beginning and hit inventory, pensions, financial reporting. Just start working through those. Do 20 sets of multiple choice questions in study mode, so you see the instant answers, and then go from there. And I wish you luck on your exam. Shoot me an email. Let me know how it went.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jeff. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Dominic. All right. We go to area code 732. How are you? Area code.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, who am I speaking with? Who am I speaking
with? My name's Cheryl.
Your name is what?
Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi. I'm just taking BEC at the end of February, and I wanted to know, I'm using a 2012 book, I think. Is there any changes I should know about?
What's that?
In BEC.
Sure. In 2012, do they have the international internal auditing standards in there already for corporate governance?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I couldn't remember if that was added in 2012 or 2013. So long story short, I don't think there's really any issues. I mean, what course are you using?
It's Becker, but then I have like your flashcards, and just like I'm using like the questions from online and stuff.
I think you should be fine. I mean, there haven't been any real substantive changes that have changed, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, area code 646. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, Tawana Austin.
Hey, Tawana.
My question is, I want to start studying. I just don't know what part I should start studying. I actually have bought all my review, 2 years ago, actually, in 2012, at the beginning of 2012. So I have Jaeger 2012, have the books and everything, and I'm going to download your flashcards and everything else. And I was wondering, should I just scratch it, get the new stuff, and then start studying?
So you have 2012 videos and books?
Yes.
I think you should be okay. Well, okay. Do you have like updated software like the online test bank?
No. But they did say that when I called them, they said that they can give me FAR for $45 and audit, because a lot of changes happened for audit in 2013, so they can give me that for $130. So I can definitely update it. It just cost me just a little bit of money.
Okay. Yeah, definitely go that route because you don't want to use those 2012 auditing materials at all.
Okay. Okay.
Because they have the extant standards in there, and now the exam is completely the clarified auditing standards.
Okay. I have one more question. Which one should I take? Like, do you think with my busy schedule, I started a new job and the role is not as intense. I was going to try to study for FAR and audit at the same time and take it possibly the end of May.
Is there any chance? Well, how many hours a week can you study?
I'm not sure how many hours should I study.
Well, I always say that if you're not studying 20 hours a week, you're not studying.
Okay.
But I was trying to figure out if you could fit something in by the end of February.
It's possible, but it probably wouldn't be far. Maybe audit. I heard audit is a little bit easier, or maybe regulation.
I'm thinking BEC.
BEC?
Yeah, and if I were going to pick one exam to study over 4 weeks, it would be BEC. Now, don't take that to mean that BEC is easy, because it's not. BEC.
I know.
People run in there and they come out limping. So.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to waste this testing window.
Mhm.
And so.
Okay.
I would study hard for BEC and you know what, there always seems to be some early March some late February winter storm that'll affect everyone. Yeah. That'll affect where are you from, Tawana?
I'm in Georgia. We are in a storm right now.
Okay, well, I was about to say that it wouldn't affect you, but that's not the case for right now. But usually, if they have to extend the testing window, like into March, like through like March 5th, they kind of secretly have to open it up for everyone, even though they don't advertise that.
Yeah.
And so you could start studying for BEC, take it at the end of February, and if you had to, you might have a window of opportunity to reschedule like another week. But don't count on that. But that's just a little added bonus. I would take BEC now. To answer your question about FAR and auditing, I would not study for them at the same time. So I would take BEC at the end of February. I would study for FAR all of March and through half of April, and then study for auditing mid-April through the end of May.
Okay. And then take FAR in, let's say, late April, early May, and then take audit.
I would take FAR maybe like April 20th.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Okay, will do. Yeah, that is very helpful. And then take audit either in May or in July. Well,
shoot for May because you don't want to let these testing windows slip by. So what if you pass BEC? Well, your 18-month window starts ticking.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I will try that. I would push and start studying today for BEC and try to get everything done and schedule my testing for late February.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Area code 281. Who am I speaking with?
This is Matt Grody.
Hey, Matt. Is it Matt?
From Houston. Yeah, Matt Grody.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
From Houston, Texas. Good. How are you?
Good, man.
Yeah, I emailed you probably 10 days ago saying I had on my audit I had made a 73 on my last one, and I have no idea. I thought I had answered everything correctly, and then I went back to listen to your audio tapes in the car, and I was like, well, I got that one right. I got that one right. Everything that came up, I was like, well, I got it right. I really don't know what happened, but I retook it again last Saturday. So.
Oh, good.
See how it was. There was a lot of stuff on the SARS, like a ton of questions. So I was like, man, I really didn't restudy that too much, but we'll see. Hopefully, I managed it well enough. But
so what exam is next?
I'm taking BEC next Thursday. I took it 2 windows ago, and I made a 69. So I'm just going back through all the materials, making sure I understand it, everything again.
So what's your plan for the final week?
Just basically in Excel, like CPAexcel, they divide everything up into 5 sections. The economics, that's pretty easy. I think I got that down. And then see if I can pull it up real quick.
Well, that's okay. What's your study strategy? Are you going to work multiple choice questions? Are you going to look at notes?
I'm basically just reading the material, and then they have video instructions, and then I'm going back to the questions. And if I understand it, fine. I mean, if I understand those questions well, I'm moving on. If I don't, then I'll go back and re-review all the reading material and look at the videos again, and then I can kind of remember the questions and kind of focus on what they're asking for.
Since you have a week, I would not jump back into the videos.
Okay.
Because you can get bogged down in videos and never find your way out, and then the next thing you know, tomorrow's your exam.
I got you. So what would you recommend?
Well, I would do a ton of multiple choice questions in study mode, because with each answer explanation, I mean, the videos are theory, the exam questions are actual application of that theory, and it's how you'll see it on exam day. So
okay.
So I would hit the multiple choice questions.
Okay. And then on 4, I really haven't. I started looking at that a little bit, but what would the best strategy be for 4?
Well, let's assume that you passed audit because you were close with the 73, and we will assume that you passed this time. I would approach it the same way that you did for audit. So, have you tried the ninja approach at all, where you watch all the videos first and get those out of the way, and then you take notes while you do that?
Not exactly.
Okay. Well, because essentially what happens is people watch their videos and they take notes, and then they work multiple choice questions over chapter 1. 2 things. 1, it can seem like you're in videos forever, and it's not very motivating because people don't feel like they're making any progress.
Okay.
And I don't know what that is. Okay. Someone else is on the line. And the number 2, if you work the multiple choice questions over chapter 1 in week 1, you're going to have to work them again in like week 6. So.
Right.
So.
Yeah, just to refamiliarize yourself.
Yeah. You said that you have the Ninja Audio. Is that right?
Yeah, I got for the 4, I got the complete set.
Okay, so like at the beginning of the FAR notes, I have the Ninja framework outlined. The Ninja is an acronym. Nail the videos, intense notes, nonstop multiple choice questions. Just rewrite your notes, and then it all comes together.
Okay.
But hey, if you pass BEC, then you already have a winning formula, and I would just continue doing what you're doing. But if not, try that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
See you. Area code 510. Who am I speaking with?
Rajiv?
I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Rajiv?
Okay. How are you?
Good, Jeff. How are you?
It's cold here.
Yeah, same here. It's raining. So I'm actually calling from California. I'm taking my last exam in 2 weeks, which is 4. And I scored a 65 on it last time. But I'm having a really hard time with journal entries and bonds and like earnings per share and stockholders equity and all that. How do you recommend I study? I've got the Ninja Notes, I've got the audio, I've got the Wiley Test Bank. It's just not coming together for me for the journal entries and bonds.
Have you done your due diligence in the Wiley Test Bank? Have you put in the time?
I worked the Becker's Test Bank first, and now I just started Wiley. I mean, I've done a little bit of Wiley, but I'm focusing on that a lot more now. But yeah, I'm completely lost. I mean, my study strategy worked for the last 3 exams, but it's just not coming together for 4.
Did you watch the Becker videos for bonds?
I did, yeah.
Did you take notes?
Yep. Because last time what worked for me was I wrote the Ninja Notes, I want to say about like 10 times. Uh-huh. And every time a question would come up in the exam, I'd be like, okay, I saw that in the Ninja Notes. But the simulations what really got me, and then all of them my weak areas as well. So I just don't know where I'm lacking to get that.
I think you just have to roll up your sleeves and do like 90 questions over bonds and take notes.
Uh-huh.
And just
okay.
I mean, you're gonna have to know how to do amortization schedules and all of that good stuff, and
right.
and work them in study mode. Never do them in exam mode or whatever.
Exactly.
Take notes, and I think after like 90 intensive multiple choice questions over bonds, I think you will start to get it. Same with stockholders equity and earnings per share.
Gotcha. Because I just like that, and then I don't know. Because I mean, if I don't pass FAR this time, I lose my credit for BEC. So I'm kind of at the edge right now. So I guess I'll just you just do multiple choice for the next 2 weeks. Is that what you recommend?
Do you have to take it in 2 weeks?
Well, my BEC expires on February 20th, and I'm scheduled for the 12th. But because the thing is, I'm leaving for Seattle on the 13th, so I have that extra.
Oh.
But can I take it in? If I'm a California candidate, can I take it in Prometric in Seattle?
Yeah. Yes, technically you can, but that sounds a little risky.
Yeah.
I mean, what if? I don't know. You know, what if happens?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
What if? Right?
So you have 2 weeks. I want you studying like 25 hours a week.
Uh-huh.
And continue to rewrite the Ninja Notes. Continue to study the notes that you took from your Becker lectures, and work a ton of multiple choice questions. And don't just focus on bonds, stockholders equity, and earnings per share like your weak areas. Make sure that you go back and you hit like inventory and all the other stuff that you learned early on.
Gotcha. Okay. So, all right, sounds good. I will go ahead and do that.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Cool. Thanks, Jeff.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Area code 516. Who am I speaking with?
It's Ricky. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, Ricky. I think I just saw you in the chat window.
Yeah, that was me. Just wanted to say how this thing works because no one was like writing anything, so I thought let me be the first one. So, first of all, I want to thank you. I called you in on one of these Hughes meetings in October, and I was taking the business exam, and that was like the 5th time I was taking it. And as I spoke with you, you just told me to rewrite everything, and like because there was nothing else left, it was just like redoing the same thing over and over, and I passed it with an 80. So that with that I had 3 parts down, and then in December I took the FAR portion, which is like a beast for me. So I studied so much, and I got in December the 5th I took it and I got a 71, and it totally like blanked me out because I lost my credit for regulation, and now I really like it took a while for me to gather myself and start studying for it, and I did. So from late December until now, I've been studying for financial, and I did everything I possibly could. The Ninja Notes, the Becker software, all the questions on it. I've done everything on it, and I also did the CPA review for free questions. Also did the Wiley test bank, and I had scheduled my test which is technically tomorrow. And right now I just can't. I've done everything, but I'm just not getting the confidence. What is it? Because when I got my evaluation, I got the 71 from December. Everything was comparable or stronger, and the overall for multiple choice, the 60% portion was also stronger, not even comparable. But where I lacked was on the simulations. Like some simulations were weak. So I think my multiple choice has always been stronger. And just the simulations, I think it's just bad luck that I got bad simulations. Had I hit one simulation really good, I would have made that 75. So I just don't know how I am, like how to prepare myself, what I can do now. But like I think I'm still good in multiple choice. It's just the simulations. There is like technically no way for me to like do better in simulations that I can study for. Like, is there anything you can tell me to like?
Well, first of all, when you went and took your exam in December, you were exam ready on that date, right?
Correct. I was ready to hit it.
Right. You are not today.
Okay, yes, that's true.
And so any assumptions that you had about your readiness over a particular topic or simulations or multiple choice questions, like that's all, you're back to square one.
Correct.
So, people oftentimes, even when they score a 74 or even a 71, they think that they're just a fill in the blank away from passing, and they actually end up doing worse on their retake because they don't repeat the exact same process that they did to get their previous score. So, what review course are you using?
I've used Becker. I used your Ninja Notes. I also used Wiley Test Bank, the final review with Becker also. And just 2 weeks ago, I started doing all the questions on CPA Review for free, which just gave me a new insight because the questions on the CPA exam, they're like twisted around, not technically the same way they are with Becker. So that just gave me a new way of looking at the questions. And on each topic, I was scoring from 75, 85, and some like in the 90s. And like weak ones, I know I did score in the 60s. Like those are about 2 or 3. So.
Okay, so instead of jumping back into videos, you started doing multiple choice questions?
Yeah, I didn't because I had already watched the videos because the financial I took it in July. I got a 70, and then I went back to studying for business. I passed business, and then I went back to doing financial, and I watched the videos over again in November. Those videos became kind of repetitive for me, and that's why I just, to get the biggest out of my time, get the most from my time, I just started doing multiple choice questions.
I think that if you continue down this path, you'll end up with a worse score than a 70 or 71.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
And I don't mean to sound rude. I would just rather tell you what I think than have you waste a bunch of time and money.
Yeah.
You have to go back to your videos from the very beginning, and even if you've taken notes, you have to start taking notes again.
Okay.
But with a 70 and 71, you were close. Like a 70 or 71 means that you definitely have what it takes to pass the exam, and you've obviously passed the other three, so you know how to pass. But conceptually for FAR, you're not that you are not that close.
Okay.
And I say that just to kind of shake you up a little bit so that you really take it seriously.
Okay.
So that you don't underestimate the exam again.
Okay.
So go back through your study videos and take notes and make sure that you're not tempted to cut any corners. I mean, like pretend like it's the first time that you scored, or pretend like it's the first time that you're taking the exam. Did you, like from a study strategy standpoint, the very first time that you took FAR, did you study any differently than you did for BEC or Reg or Auditing? As far as time, as far as your method, what did you change?
Well, obviously, it was much more time consuming with FAR because there's so many chapters, so much material is involved, and also I repeated a lot of the stuff, same questions over and over and over again, because over time you tend to forget things. So that's basically it. It was a lot of doing the same thing over and over again. So that's basically it. And I also wrote down your Ninja notes, and I'm actually reviewing them as we speak. I also have been doing that, which I didn't do for business and all the other portions. And
so the one exam that you're struggling with is the one exam that you're using the Ninja notes on?
Well, that's the only reason why I'm using them, because I'm struggling with this exam a lot more. The reason is, what bothers me is that on the multiple choice, I'm doing pretty good, but just when it comes to simulations, I'm lacking, and I don't know how. I'm taking it again just so that hoping that I would get simulations that I'm good on. So,
okay, when is your exam scheduled?
Tomorrow.
Oh, FAR is tomorrow?
Yeah, FAR is tomorrow.
Why?
Because I've been studying it from December, and my plan is to hit it tomorrow in the end of December, so I can, because I lost my credit for regulation, and after financial, I can get back to studying for regulation and take that at the end of February.
Do you think that you're going to have success tomorrow?
Well, I believe that I've done everything I could. Okay. If I postpone it, I don't think there's much for me to do that I haven't done.
Watch your videos.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be within 2 more weeks or 3 more weeks for me to complete watching all those videos. Would you say?
Yeah. So you could take FAR at the end of February and take the reg at the beginning of April.
Okay. So you suggest that I can just reschedule it for another 2 weeks?
Well, I wouldn't reschedule it for another 2 weeks. I would reschedule it for another month.
Okay.
But so essentially, you have 2 choices. You can take the exam tomorrow and see what happens, and then move on to reg. And maybe after taking it in December, you're just sick of looking at the material, and I understand.
Correct.
That. I understand that. I mean, I get it. So essentially, what you're risking is whatever a notice to schedule costs like $250. So we're having a $250 discussion here.
Mm-hmm.
Because either way, you're going to be, so you can take FAR tomorrow, take regulation at the end of February and pass it, and you might be done, or you might have to take FAR again in early April. But if you postpone FAR and take it at the end of February, you're going to be taking regulation in April. So it comes down to a $250 discussion.
Yeah, I can pay $80 and reschedule for another 3 weeks or another month. I could just do that and then start watching the videos from the top again.
You know what I would do? I would just go in and I would take your exam tomorrow. I mean, if it's going to cost you $80 to reschedule, go in and take your exam. Who knows? Maybe I am completely wrong, and I hopefully am. And your method of just working a ton of multiple choice questions will pay off. And then move on to reg, because there's definitely something to be said about having a clean slate and studying something new that you don't hate. So.
Yeah, I'll try to see if I can reschedule it. If not, then I'll just leave it to tomorrow and see, like, hope for the best.
Yeah. I mean, if you decide to go in there with guns blazing tomorrow, study the Ninja Notes nonstop, all day, and I would work mini multiple choice question testlets over specific topics in study mode, and just basically run through the answers and try to cram as much info in your head as you can.
Okay.
And go in there and throw the proverbial Hail Mary tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.